Frank J. Avella with the Contending. Taiwan's international feature Oscar entry is Shih-Ching Tsou's impressive debut solo feature Left-Handed Girl. I'm happy to welcome her today. Hi, Shih-Ching.
Hello, Frank. Nice to
Congratulations. Nice to meet you too.
thank you.
It's a wonderful film, and congratulations, you just received two Critics' Choice nominations today.
Yes, so happy. I'm so happy.
How does it feel to be in the awards conversation?
Oh my God, it's just amazing. Like this year is so competitive. So I'm so happy that we get to the top and people really enjoy the film and a lot, audience resonated with the film. So really, really happy and really grateful.
It is super relatable. I'm going to get into that a little bit later, and I think it's because of specificity, but I have to share with you, I'm left-handed. And I was pretty much left alone, but my father was a lefty, and his teachers and his parents forced him to use his right hand because they told him his left hand was evil.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, so I know this part of the story is personal to you. Can you speak a little bit about that?
Yeah, I actually in my when I was in high school, my grandfather saw me use he saw me use a knife with left hand. So he scolded me. He said left hand is devil's hand, and he said you should never use left hand. So, at the time I wasn't even left-handed because I got corrected very, very early on when I was in kindergarten. So when I heard that, I suddenly realized, well, something is wrong with me, and it was a sense of guilt that really, really made me remember what he told me, like forever. And so that was the beginning of the story, how, this idea came about.
And continuing on that, I mean, the film felt so authentic to me. The fighting, the holding grudges, the pretense, and especially the shame. How there's like nothing worse than shame.
Yes.
I wonder if you could speak a little bit about melding all these themes together.
Well, we actually like this idea is the very first idea that I I told Sean about. I met him in editing class, and we kind of bonded through loving same type of movies, Dogma 95 and World Cinema, and we watched so many movies together. And when I told him about this idea, he thought, well, sounds like a magical idea. We should try to write in, put it into a script. So that's how we started doing all this. But throughout the years, we couldn't. In the very beginning, 2001, we went to Taiwan the first time trying to find a story, but we couldn't find. It was so early on, and we are both rookie of a filmmaker, so we didn't really have the mean to find funding. So in 2010, we went back to Taiwan again, wrote the story, and wrote a script together, and we still couldn't find fundings. But throughout this 10 years before I made the film in 2022, I always, remember I want to make this film. So when I went home, I would go to the night market and talk to people, and collecting story. And a lot of it's a lot of character, a lot of stories that actually inspired by people in my life. So I kind of collecting those, stories and ideas along the way, and and then eventually I put it into the script. So to make the story more authentic and make everything more Taiwanese, I kind of just collecting everything along the way before I make the film.
Amazing. I'm curious about how the collaboration with Sean Baker worked on the screenplay because I've
Mm.
written screenplays, and do you write together in the same room? Do you go back and forth? How did it work?
Well, that in 2010 we actually went to Taiwan and we stayed in Taiwan for a month. So it's along that, within that month, we kind of just, I want him to experience the life in Taiwan, to see all the night markets and see all the Taiwanese, Taiwanese life. So we kind of sit down together. I would tell him story and he would type it on a computer. So the first draft is all in English. So we kind of like talk about all the stories, and we kind of structure the story from the beginning to the end. So the story structure was always the same, even in throughout these 10 years. We didn't really change much. The only changes are all the details, all the very specific details about Taiwan. I just put them back in the end.
So interesting. And there are a number of international features this year that rely on these remarkable performances by young girls. Happy Birthday from Egypt, The President's Cake from Iraq. There's like, I think, five. And
Mhm.
Nina Yi, who again was just nominated for a Critics' Choice Award, she's so amazing. Can you speak to finding her?
Like finding all the actors in Taiwan. Initially, I wanted to street casting all of them. So, with that in mind, we did social media casting to find this little girl. So I watched 50 to 70 tapes, and I didn't find that girl. So in the end, she actually got recommended by an agent in Taiwan because at the time she was a commercial little stars. She was in almost every other commercial. If you turn on TV, you'll see her, every like 3 minutes. So at the time she had, I think she made the name for herself. So somebody told me, hey, have you tried this girl? She's really good. She's in all the commercials. So I saw her audition tape and she was wonderful. She has that very innocent look, but at the same time, she was so professional and she knows exactly what to do on set, but at the same time, her performance just comes out so natural.
Yeah, and she has this amazing ability to be sly too. It's incredible.
Yeah, she's really good.
What was your process like working with the actors? Did you give them like a lot of leeway, or were you, very firm with what you wanted in terms of your vision?
Well, I gave everybody the part of the script, and I wanted to put their own life experience into it because all of them are local Taiwanese actors. So I'm pretty sure they all have, especially like with the night market, they probably all have very similar memories of it. So I asked them to put in their own spin into the character and ask them to reach out to me if you have any question about the emotion or any relationship you don't understand. So, they all prepare at home. And then when they came to set, we just kind of, work together and we'll have them, kind of collaborate with everybody and create a scene. And we didn't have any rehearsals.
Uh,
So
wow.
yeah, so because I want that very spontaneous kind of organic action, like interacting among them. So I feel like that would be the most natural way to have them come together and act together.
That climax scene, which I won't go into too much detail about because I don't want to give it away, was just extraordinary. Was that how was that to film?
Well, that final scene, that banquet scene, that took us 3 days to shoot.
Hmm.
So we had to cut them in three pieces. Like the very beginning, everybody kind of sit down and get ready. And the second part was the first, that chaos. First time that the two people coming was the chaos. And the third part was that when everybody get onto the stage, reveal the secret.
It's incredible. Um, I want to talk about there's a level of misogyny inherent in cultures that tend to be steeped in old world and religious traditions. I come from an Italian Catholic background, so I can speak to that. And I love how you explored that.
Yeah, well, I think that's so important because that's, it's like part of my life. I grew up in Taiwan and my family on my mother's side is very traditional. So I see all that in my life. So I remember at the very first I wanted to make the film. I told Sean I want to make it. I want to talk about those especially all those female characters, how they struggle in this society. How much more difficulty as a woman in living in Taiwan. You have a lot of restriction. You have a lot of expectation upon among like put upon girls especially. So I want to show that. So that's the intention I wanted to do. But it's not about criticizing them. I just want to show them as how we live our lives and then what we encounter every day.
Well, and the females are the heroes in the story. I mean, you just look at the mother, and then you look at her ex-husband and how she's still taking care of him.
Right, right. And then that's actually the story I heard so many times. My mom has a lot of friends and they all have like trouble family life, at home. And that's like just so many women that have the same kind of problems and issues at home.
I wanted to ask about filming the night market scenes because that could not have been easy.
Oh yeah, that's probably the craziest part in the whole shooting. Uh, we had a very small crew, 20 people crew. So because I knew we are shooting on the all the real location, so we can't have like a huge crew that would not work. But still, on the first day of the shoot at the night market, we have 20 people, and after they set out a noodle stand, right? They all go across the street and just kind of watch. But immediately, everybody knows we are shooting the film because the film crew, they all wear black t-shirt. And it's like a group of black t-shirt people across the street. And then immediately we couldn't shoot. So the first day we just couldn't do anything. People will come over and they were like filming us, filming. So we're like, okay, well, this is not going to work. So the second day I asked people, you have to wear, you have to look like you are going to night market, like everybody else. And I ask people just only the 5 or 6 people, like the crew, the pro crew can stay on set. Everybody has to go, stay behind, or you just have to kind of pretend you are night market shopping. So that's how we managed to shoot, 5 to 6 crew people with our actors. And in the end, we have like real customers coming to noodle stand to order the noodle with our actress because they didn't know we are shooting the film.
I love that. That's great. I wanted to ask you because you've produced so many of Sean's films, like The
Mhm.
Florida Project and Red Rocket, and you go all the way back to Take Out, which you both co-directed. This idea has been gestating. Has it been for like 2 decades, right? Did
Yes.
you always know that you wanted to direct it?
Oh yeah. I think in the very beginning, because that was actually the very first idea, actually even before takeout. So in the very beginning, we were planning to co-direct it. But along the way, Sean already has so many successful on all the films, and then also Left Handed Girl is such a personal story. It's all in Mandarin, and it take place in Taiwan. So I thought, well, that at that point, it's probably makes more sense for me to direct it by myself. And at the time, we couldn't even get foreigner into Taiwan because of the end of the pandemic. So it was actually difficult. So I was the only producer, only crew, only team from US went to Taiwan to produce and like kind of do this on my own.
Wow. Well, and it's interesting because you were involved in Left-Handed Girl, and then Honora is made and goes on to win all these Oscars, and
Right.
technically one of them could have been yours.
Well, but you know what is the funny thing is Sean is actually he was editing Left-Handed Girl when he was traveling with his Honora on all the campaign. So Left-Handed Girl practically already went on to the Oscar campaign trip with him, and then now it's such a blessing for us. So hopefully we'll get on there and go to the ceremony as well.
Yes, exactly. Well, you get this great exposure, and now you have Netflix that acquired the rights, so that should be good too, right?
Oh yeah, Netflix is huge because they are able to put the film onto the platform, and everybody will be able to see it at home, and it will reach out to so many more audience, compared to just the traditional theatrical release. But at the same time, we still have theatrical in different countries separately, so we're very happy about that too.
Yeah, and you played a bunch of festivals. I wanted to ask you what the response has been like for you.
It's wonderful. We won a couple. We won at Rome Best Films. We won at Filmex in Tokyo Audience Award. We also won at Stockholm the best newcomer for Xu Yuanma, the older sister, and also Nina. She also got a best new. I think it's the young performers at the Asian World Film Festival. So just across the board, like I think people really, really enjoy the film. The audience really like the film, so we are very, very happy and very grateful about that.
I have to ask you, Shih-Ching, what are you working on next? Can you tell us?
Well, I have so many ideas, but I think after this whole campaign trip, I will have to go back to New York and where my home is, kind of take a break, and also I'm thinking about making maybe make a next film in New York because it's where I live and it's easier for me to kind of research and make film at home.
It'd be great when we welcome you here. I have to say to you that I think I saw the film a second time, and I think the mark of a really good film is on the second viewing, you're still as involved and you're still surprised by what you see. And I was. I think it's a terrific movie.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you. Enjoy this time. I know it's a little crazy, and I look forward to speaking to you on your next project.
Great, thank you so much.
Thank you.